Can Zeke deke again? I'm Jonathan Coachman. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Miami Dolphins. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
But, Coach, while much of the country is struggling under cold temps and some of that white stuff, no such troubles here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. Hi, everyone. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Mississippi State product, the mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. And, Charles, you see the numbers for Amari Cooper last week. 6 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown.
And he was able to haul that pass in there, but he knows he's got a tough task ahead of him. This unit in the top 5 in the NFL against the pass. He's going to have to really work hard to get open.
Elliott trying to run inside, but nothing there. And on this offensive unit, your thoughts on Travis Frederick?
He's a quarterback's best friend. Sets all the line calls and blocks so aggressively.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Dolphins now getting set for their initial possession. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year.
Hey, watch that. Check Mike 54.
Back to throw. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Give him 22 yards, and that's also where they snapped it from, the 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play. We can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves out that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
First quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Evans. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what they got on that play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
Apparently, they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
On the RPO, Prescott's going to keep it himself. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. On third down, it's Prescott. That one complete. Elliott. Call it a pickup of 7, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a fourth down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And that is no good. Hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and this will remain a scoreless game. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. On second down now, it's Evans. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
They're going to look to throw. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Prescott, a quick throw caught by Cooper. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Now on 2nd and 13, Prescott. That's complete to the former Aggie Jay Sternberger. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. We're scoreless after 1. The Cowboys on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Prescott to throw it. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively. Brings up 4th down.
Hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken around the 12. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year as his guys are on the board first here tonight. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? A first down run for Elliott, not going to pan out. He'll, in fact, wind up losing a couple. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Prescott. A dump off to Elliott. Give him 9 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback.
Oh, Prescott stripped.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Prescott. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and a mile. Throwing. Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards, the final tally. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Prescott from the gun. Got his man there complete to Gallup. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the red zone now, Prescott. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Not able to go anywhere that time. 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Prescott. That's complete to the tight end Sample. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. To the air again, Prescott. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19.
Yeah, that's how we do, G.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
And he will take this one all the way back inside the 35-yard line.
I know the special teams coach will not permit himself a smile here, but inside he's glowing. This is what he practices for. This is what he schemes. This is what he watches tape to put himself and his team in a position to score points. An absolute dream return.
There again is the running back as he tries. Onto the field. He's in his own 2nd quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard gain.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little. Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and goal. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Here's 2nd and 8. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. From 8 yards out, and the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback. And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Dallas Hawk out onto the field. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Prescott. And his throw here is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd and long for Prescott. He's going to look deep down the field. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. That goes as a gain of 36 on 3rd down. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. This thrown quickly out to Cooper. There he goes, Amari Cooper. Touchdown, Cowboys. Amari Cooper with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough, otherwise they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front.
And he's going to go down again. DeMarcus Lawrence in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
A big pickup, 18 yards, but they still stop him well short of the marker.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Now Dak Prescott of the offense heading back onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence. Throwing again on second down. Prescott, he's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Here we go, team. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you.
First down, Prescott. Drops it underneath to Elliott. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be second down. The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Let's go, team. Big series right here. We got
To throw again on second down. Prescott making the catch is Sternberger. And he's first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 40. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. 14-10, the final. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. 27-13 was the final. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie. See what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Baker Mayfield, a touchdown pass in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. No gain on the play there. It'll be second down. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
On first down, it's Evans. DeMarcus Lawrence in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So it would appear they will not be able to add to their lead on this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, if another touchdown was scored there, now we're talking about a 2-score game, and they're probably on their way of creating an excellent gap between them and their pursuers. But how about the defense there, able to step up and keep themselves in this one?
And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
They'll run with Elliott. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. Second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made. And that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Prescott looks to throw on first. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Prescott. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. It got his man complete. A big play here for Dallas. 66 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. On the counter, Elliott. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Prescott. That's complete right around the 8. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, You really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
That drive took him inside to 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. And he stopped immediately there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
Let's go, baby.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup of 28 yards. They'll run on first down. It's Evans. Man, this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. He completes it to Westbrook. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
No, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
is fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Amari Cooper and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Prescott. This one hauled in by Sample. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Prescott now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Prescott to throw it. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. The end result, 21 yards. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 6 of his throws on this drive. Now Prescott firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From the pistol, here's Elliott. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. This will be caught just inside the 10. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Rashawn Gary. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling. Get it right to the hands of your running back. Tell him to take care of the ball.
No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. So they were down by a touchdown, probably just hoping the defense could hold them, maybe force the punt. Instead, they force the turnover and take it into the house.
Well, the plan was perfect. That's exactly what they wanted. Instead, they got a lot more than that. Big-time capitalization by taking the ball away and putting it in the end zone.
A very important extra point there, up and good, and we are tied here in the fourth quarter. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away. Ball on the 30 as they come up, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook, and it's 3rd down. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
Let's go.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. 10th carry now for Elliott. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. 30, 20, touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, 91 yards. And the Cowboys have taken the lead.
Did you see them hold up 4 fingers at the start of the 4th quarter?
They were ready.
They were definitely ready. They may or may not have done that, but they certainly have played that way. The 4th quarter has belonged to them, and now the lead belongs to them as well.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. This one taken just inside the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. This one out quickly to Westbrook. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. D.D. Westbrook with touchdown number 8 on the year. As they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. Boy, hard to ask for a better game thus far. 27 apiece is our score as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. Big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Again, it's Elliott. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a first down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Prescott now, and this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Here's Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away as we just saw there.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. 2nd and 4.
But they picked up a little bit of...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And in for the score. Are you kidding me? They return it, and they take the lead. So many times, tight games decided by one big play. You know, a lot of times, of course, it's the offense. Here, it's the defense coming up huge.
And you know, head coaches walk around locker rooms, walk around bench areas saying, guys, somebody make a play. It's a cliche, but it applies here.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So the Dolphins now down on the scoreboard. 56 seconds to go. A possible crippling loss to their playoff status in the balance, barring a late score. And that one covered beautifully. Their defense home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Back to throw. The open man is Westbrook. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. If you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Back to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. To a knee, and that should just about do it. Great come-from-behind victory in this one, Charles. And really the difference, obviously, was that 4th quarter. They dominated.
And it has to start with believing that you can make that comeback. Because we've been in games before. We've done games where you just look at one team and realize they have no chance of making it back. Not in the one we just saw here. They did it, and they did it well.
So for Dallas, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, this loss cost them in the playoff chase as they fall back to 7-5 on the year. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.